Well, I was making this video yesterday up in the mountains, but when I came back to edit it, I found this was happening with my audio. The Gore-Tex is super drenched for a long duration of time. You have nothing, no precipitation coming out. So now I'm in my kitchen and I gotta do it all over again. What's going on, everybody? Lucas here with Stock Artist yet again, coming at you again with another gear review video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Salewa Alp Trainer 2 Mid Gore-Tex boots. So stay with me. Alright, so jumping into it, these are obviously, as you can see, a mid-cut boot. As far as the materials, you have a suede and a stretch fabric that kind of wraps along the outside of this. These are also Gore-Tex lined, so 100% waterproof, which is awesome. As well as a little bit of leather material up here in the toe, just added comfort, added stability, added protection. So I bought these about a year and a half ago. I was looking for just a do-it-all year-round boot, and these things kind of checked all the boxes I was looking for. I pretty much use these things every time I go out and about in the mountains and stuff like that. Hiking around, shooting sports, all the shooting stuff that I do, I wear these things out to the range. Also wanted a solid go-to hunting boot, and yes, I did mention they're kind of a good all year-round boot. However, if you're in a state obviously with a lot of rain or a lot of snow, like heavy snow, really cold winters and stuff like that, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Obviously I'd go with a little bit heavier of a boot, but here in Nevada it does snow a little bit, but it's nothing super crazy. So I mean, even these things in the snow and the cold weather, as long as I'm wearing a little bit thicker of socks, they've been perfectly comfortable to wear kind of just year round, and they've been awesome. So even though they are Gore-Tex, keep in mind if you are going to be wearing them in 100% precipitation, like traipsing around wet grass and stuff like that, or just constant snow or constant rain, the Gore-Tex lining, in that case, with the boot being soaked 24/7, it's not gonna allow that Gore-Tex to breathe. So what I did notice last year, late season, archery elk in Colorado, towards the end of September, it was snowing and stuff, and even with all the snow, all the moisture around, my foot inside was still getting kind of wet, kind of damp, just because with the Gore-Tex being wet, it wasn't allowing that precipitation to kind of exit the boot. So a lot of that builds up inside. That's the case for any Gore-Tex boot out there. If Gore-Tex can't breathe, your feet inside will get a little wet. So just keep that in mind. But then again, when I was out there hunting, I was able to scavenge some dry wood and then just kind of hold my boots up above the fire, and that helps dry out the inside of my boots for the next day. So I mean, just find what works for you. In that case, that worked for me. One thing that I absolutely loved about these boots, and that they do advertise as well, is out of the box comfort. The first time I wore these, I actually put about 5 miles on them round trip when I was out scouting in Colorado. And I didn't have any hot spots, I didn't have any blisters. These things felt like I've been wearing them for a year already. They were just that comfortable. So that is one thing that I absolutely loved about the Salewa boot. With that comfort, you're also getting their 3F system, which you probably can't see it from this distance. I'll probably show a little B-roll of it, but essentially you have a steel cable that runs along the outside of the boot, along the back, and on the inside of the boot. And that kind of adds stability, support for your ankle, as well as still helps the mobility of your foot inside the boot. The other thing that they added was this flex collar in the back, which really helped for going downhill. As I'm sure you know, especially with brand new boots, you put those things on and you start going down a steep grade, you start getting a lot of jamming into your Achilles tendons or kind of the back of your heel. With this flex collar, it helped that range of motion. My foot kind of be a little more free when I'm going downhill, so it was 100% more comfortable than just any other regular boot out there. So that was another big bonus with these boots that I absolutely loved. For the inside of the sole, let's see if I can pull this out here. You do have their, it's a little worn down, you can't really see it anymore, but you do have their multi-footbed plus. So essentially what that is, you have these different yellow pieces, different kind of trims that help customize the mold of your foot. So depending on if you're got a flatter foot or you like a little bit more arch support, they do have different options for the soles that you can replace these pieces, which just kind of helps tailor that fit to your foot. So that I found to be another bonus as well. Luckily the one that came with it, I don't remember if it came with other ones or if you can just get them off their website. I don't recall, but the one that came with my boot was perfectly fine for my foot. So that was nice. As for the bottom of the boot, they partnered with Vibram, so you do get a nice sole on the bottom of these boots. They have these added grip sections on the heel as well as the tip of the toe, which just adds a little bit more grip, a little more friction and stuff when you're going uphill and downhill. Obviously bottom for braking, top for climbing. So that was another big feature. I've put a lot of miles on these things already. Again, coming up to having these things for pretty close to 2 years now. These soles are still in really good condition, really good shape. They're not, super filed down. And I mean, I've been hiking in a lot of different kind of terrains, wet terrains, dry terrains, rocky terrains, grassy terrains, all that good stuff. These soles that they've got on the bottom of these boots have been awesome. And I honestly get little to no slipping whatsoever when I'm just out and about doing different stuff. So the bottom of these soles, awesome. As for the lacing, you do have lacing that goes all the way down to the toe, which just helps customize a better fit for you when you're navigating different kind of terrain features. If you want a tighter toe box, if you want a looser toe box, you have that option to adjust it there. And I actually used it quite a bit depending on what kind of terrain I was going through. I'll just add a little bit more stability to my toe if I need it, or loosen it up if I'm just walking on flat ground. So having that was a nice kind of added feature as well. All right, well that is about all I've got for these boots. They have been super awesome so far. I honestly highly recommend them. I will continue to wear these things until they fall apart on me, which, I mean, putting them through all the miles I have already, these things honestly have been holding together very well. There isn't any of the rubber coming loose. It's maintained its structure. Nothing's ripped or torn, and I've put these things through the ringer. So I will definitely continue to wear these. I will definitely continue to buy from Salewa. And thank you again, Expert Voice, for providing me that opportunity to buy them at a good price. And yeah, that's honestly about it that I've got for these boots. If you have any questions, stuff like that, just leave them in the comments. I'll be sure to be checking on those every other day. And I mean, as always, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Go check out our website, check out some of the new merchandise that we're coming out with, as well as some of our content over on our social media channels, enunciate. But yeah, that's about it. That's all I've got. Thanks for watching, guys.